I was in my 40s. That's typically when it starts, by the way, right? So that whole
Mm.
phase until you hit the final button, final switch of your menstrual cycle off, there is the irregular period that can go on for a decade, like almost for 10 years.
Wow. And
Yeah. And
what
we
are
can
the
for that.
Welcome to Your Wordless podcast, the space where we redefine success, self-worth, and transformation. I am Nick Nieras, the soul-centered architect of transformation, helping you unlock your highest potential and build a legacy beyond limits. Now, whether it is self-mastery, career breakthroughs, or wealth creation, this is where change begins. Now, let's dive in. What was it like growing up as an Amita Sharma?
That's a different question. I grew up in India, so I came to US when I was in my early 20s. So I actually spent a lot of time in boarding schools, and it was more like army. We had a lot of ex-army, as our instructors. So it was pretty tough to wake up. All of us actually would wake up at 5:30, and we had to run in the morning, and then exercise was
Wow.
a big part of it. So 7, 8 years of my life was that. Then I came here and I actually studied architecture. And now in my, kind of a journey, I went into software. And then, as you said, during my corporate gig, in the software industry, I started going through perimenopause, which most of the women don't understand. I was in my 40s. That's typically when it starts, by the way, right?
Really? Mid 40s or early 40s or it
Well,
varies?
early 40s. I was in my early 40s. But by the way, there's a lot
Mhm.
of data that's saying, and not that I'm trying to scare you or your audience, but there's a lot of data that's
Are you
coming.
saying that?
That a lot of women in their late 30s are starting to get perimenopause. Late 30s. It's pretty
Are
scary.
you saying
Got
it
it in
is?
my
And it's, well, if I'm 35, that means yeah, like 5 years from now. Anmita, what is perimenopause and what is that? Yeah, please break it down for us.
Yeah. So menopause, I think most of us understand. Menopause
Yeah.
is basically when a period stops and you
Mm-hmm.
are menopause if you haven't had your period for 12 consecutive months, right? That's
Right.
menopause. Now, perimenopause, it's not a switch. Menopause is not a switch that happens one fine day, a period stop. It doesn't happen like that, unfortunately. There's a whole transition years
Mm.
that is the perimenopause, is the transition years before the menopause, when our body starts having hormones that are fluctuating and we start having irregular periods. So that whole
Mm.
phase until you hit the final button, final switch of your menstrual cycle off, there is the irregular period that can go on for a decade, like almost for 10 years.
Wow. And
Yeah. And
what
we
are
can
the
for that.
Hi, I'm Nick Nieras, your host of the Your Wordless podcast. Now, if this real raw stories hit home, don't wait. Please follow, like, and subscribe my Spotify and YouTube. For bite-sized inspirational reels, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Don't wait. Your transformation starts today. Thank you, and bye for now.
Nobody
Exactly. And I
knows.
mean,
I mean,
how would one know if they're okay? So you mentioned between 12 months you don't have your menstruation, right? So what are the key symptoms that is showing somebody is going through perimenopause?
so the first symptom is your menstrual health. You need to pay
Okay.
attention that you're getting your period right on 28 days, like the right on the clock. If
Right.
that is off, if you're not getting your periods on time and you
Mm-hmm.
start getting it, let's say after 15 days, and then that suddenly doesn't happen for like, I don't know, some time, and then you again get it, that means that there is something wrong because your menstrual cycle is not regular, that is becoming irregular. That is typically the first sign, because what happens, your hormones are fluctuating, and then at the same time, you start also getting some symptoms at the same time. It could be different. Every woman is different, right? Because it's culture sensitive, and I can share the data. Asian women are different versus Latino American or African American or a Muslim woman. It's all different. The kind of symptoms you're going to face, because it depends on your lifestyle that you have had up until, let's say, hypothetically 40, right? For 40
Mm.
years, whatever lifestyle you've had, whatever dietary habits you have, what kind of diet you're eating, it all depends on that. And then your symptoms differ based on ethnicity, based on your dietary lifestyle, all those things. But typically, symptoms are very common symptoms. I think we all of us have heard about hot flashes. I used to get hot flashes, and then I'd sleep issues at night. Then in the morning, you'll have brain fog. You can't think straight because you haven't had a good sleep, right? And then because of the brain fog, the productivity can go down, and your hair can also actually start thinning. You can start putting on weight on around your tummy, right? The symptoms. You can also, some of the women also have loss of libido. If they have a partner or married, anxiety. 50% of the women have anxiety. They also can go into depression or suicidal thoughts. That's extreme, but that is also a symptom. And then urinary incontinence could also happen to some women.
Else, any other symptoms?
These are there are over 35 plus symptoms that have been reported. But everything is all not happening at the same time, of course. Typically, about 4 or 5 things a woman can. I had 5, 6 things all happening at the same time, and it's very common because
And this is
it's yeah.
what was your lead time? What was your lead time before you actually confirm that you are on menopause? Like you have menopause.
I had no idea, to be honest with you. I was completely clueless when all these things were happening. I did not know that. I did not even know the word perimenopause until I started this company. I had no clue that I am in perimenopause. That's what I'm saying. That's how bad it is for a lot of women. They don't understand that they've entered a phase and they think it's okay, but it can go fluctuate, and it can kind of impact a lot of things that, if their career, if they don't pay attention.
Yeah. Talk to us about data, Amita. You said people in Asia, Africa, Western countries, they're all different. So what? Hey, love, it is Nick Nieras here. And if you've been feeling stuck, burnt out, or like you're meant for more, but don't know where to begin, I have got something for you. This isn't just about mindset work. It's about deep soul healing, subconscious rewiring, and remembering who you really are. Now, I created a free self-hypnosis audio to help you release the noise and reconnect your inner truth. In just 10 minutes, you will feel the shift immediately, I promise. And if you are ready to go deeper, explore my digital guides designed to help you overcome fear, activate your confidence, and find clarity in your next move. They are your next step before full transformation. But if your soul is saying, I am ready, then apply for a one-to-one coaching with me. This is where we do the real work, transforming your blocks, aligning your life, and unlocking the confident, magnetic version of you that creates wealth your way. Head to the show notes now. Your new chapter starts with one small yes. Now let's get back to the video you're watching.
Yeah. So I just share. I mean, the age
The
is different.
lifestyle. I want to know about the
Yes.
lifestyle.
Yeah, the lifestyle.
Okay. Yes.
I was in Asia just about a couple of weeks back, and the lifestyle in Asia is very, very different than what you see in Western countries. The diet, most of the Asian people eat fresh foods, from what I have observed, right? And most of the Western countries, people eat packaged or processed food more. So I think that's not good. There's a lot of data that talks about, like I talked about, American, Latina women or African American women, they have more aggravated hot flashes, and some of the symptoms are more aggravated. And then so the Japanese women actually don't get hot flashes because of the soy diet that Asian women, most of the South Asian women have. The symptoms are actually not that crazy. That's the data. That's all the data. Yeah.
Oh, okay. To alleviate all this that we can prevent through dietary control, what should we eat? What should we take?
Well,
this is asking for
absolutely.
a friend. No, asking for me.
I mean, you have a friend who's going through this.
No, that's for me, actually, Amita.
Okay. So I think focus. So there's a lot of things, women should change during this period. But I'll just talk about very high level basic things. And we need to, there's so many things, right, that I talked about that could go wrong. But on a high level, maintain diet that is full of vegetables. This pretty standard thing, the thing, more vegetables that have phytoestrogens, to be specific.
What are those? So what are those that
So
have
like
phytoestrogens?
cabbage and cauliflower and
Okay.
broccoli,
Well, ask my
spinach.
mom. Okay, let's buy the cabbages and the broccolis.
Yeah. I
Okay.
never used to pay attention. Like seeds, flax seeds, like some healthy fats and protein. Protein is, so these kind of things. And like I said, the data talks about anxiety. A lot of women go through anxiety. 50% of them go through anxiety. So you need to make sure that you exercise some of the mindfulness or some of the relaxation techniques, because if you have anxiety, then it can also impact your gut health, right? The gut microbiome
Yes.
changes. There's a lot of data that talks about that. There's also a lot of data that talks about how a woman's brain also changes, believe it or not. It's a whole studies that have been done, and women can also have memory dementia as they get older. That's 65 and over, but still, so our brain can also change. So it's something that has been under researched, funded all over the world. I am not a medical doctor or a health expert. What I have done is all this information that I am sharing with you have been through about 3,000 experts that I have personally interviewed, holistic experts from all over the world, and the research that is there. So what we are trying to do is bring the right information to women. Like I said, culturally sensitive. It's very different. For example, Muslim women, they experience menopause in mid-40s. I know that I think there are a lot of Muslim women in Malaysia, as an example.
Yes.
So that's why I'm mentioning that. And it's because of the sedentary lifestyle that typically, and I don't know how it is in Malaysia, but typically that's the general. It's just if a woman has had sedentary lifestyle, not much movement, all that is going to impact. Even Indian women, in India, they get menopause in 46, 47, but the average age is 51, 52. So it's the lifestyle also, like I was talking about earlier, that depends on the lifestyle that you have, the diet that you have. The most of them don't eat very healthy diet. I'm talking about, despite having fresh food every single day, there's a lot of fried food on a daily basis. There's a lot of sitting, not much movement, things like that. So then they start getting more musculoskeletal pains, chronic pains, fatigue. Fatigue is very common symptom as well. I had a very unexplained kind of a fatigue. I could not even get up. It was so bad in the mornings, right? And I did not realize it was a perimenopause symptom that I was going through that. I just went to the doctor. I went everywhere. My lab work was fine. Nothing was wrong. Just little here and there, and so nothing's wrong with you. And here I was. Fatigue was one of the symptoms. So later on, I realized there was inflammation that was inside my body that I needed to cleanse it, clean it up. I just needed to do some clean eating and lot of lifestyle changes that I had to do.
So yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
No. I'm just saying a very high level picture, painting a very high level picture here.
So what are your holistic wellness programs? I'm interested to know.
Yeah. So absolutely. So what we wanted to do. So I'm like anyone else, like you, right? Like 2-3 years back, I had no clue. Like you are clueless. And I realized that how important it is for women. During the research that we discovered, there's a direct correlation of chronic conditions that women can develop when they are in the mid-50s or 60s if proper care is not taken during these years, so perimenopausal years. So what we wanted to do was come up with an affordable solution and all the programs. And we have over 20 plus programs, including, for example, gut health, perimenopause, menopause, even sexual health, intimacy, I should use the word, because we really want to help, women out there to deal with all these issues, pelvic health, chronic fatigue, sleep, mental health, all these things, right?
Yeah.
And
My apologies.
the idea is to really bring it at an affordable price to all the women in the world. So we are coming out with this platform where we will offer this program that would start off with self-care that would be priced at less than $10 per month for all the women, like I said. And then if someone needs a coach, like someone who's trained in all this, then the price starts going up and it goes to like someone wants one-on-one. So that's kind of how we progressed the programs, starting with the self-care, and then you keep going up if you need a concierge services, like, a coaches, 3-4 coaches who can guide you along with the program, right?
So in the program, let's say one should sign up right now.
Mhm.
What do they get? Like when they're onboarded, what do they get?
So like someone like you, let's just take an example, right? So
Yes.
you will be in the Perimenopause program since you are right?
The early, okay. I mean,
No, but the thing is, okay, so for you, no, not that you haven't entered it, but see, it would be important for you to understand what is going to come in a few years. At least you're
that's
prepared,
right. Yeah.
right? I don't mean it like that, right? I'm
Yeah.
meaning like
For sure. I was
you
just
understand,
I was just
right?
making a joke.
Like you're prepared. So
Yeah.
for instance, so right now we start off a person. We ask them, are you premenopause or postmenopause? So we start off with as sort of like a prerequisite. We recommend that you start with the perimenopause or the menopause program. Then after that, based on the symptoms, you can start off with, okay, whether I want to go with the sleep or the gut health or the pelvic health, like I said, the memory, we have memory, almost 20. So starting, I feel that at least women should understand what is perimenopause, what are the symptoms to look for, what can they do to at least start taking care of themselves. So these are very simple, short, bite-sized information that we have designed that you can do it yourself, like I said earlier, and it's super affordable. So what you're going to get is maybe 1 to 2 minutes of some expert explaining you, then you could get a quiz. It's like very interactive kind of a thing. So all the information is done by experts. And so you're going to get structured way, sort of like, okay, step number 1, what is it? Then step number 2, what can you do to help yourself? So it will help you with the diet, it'll help you with the nutrition, help you with some yoga, some breathing, some acupressure points, some hypnotherapy, and then some naturopathy, right? Some of the herbs and supplements that are common. Not that we recommend that you start doing it yourself. Some essential oils, so all these holistic therapies is what we are saying that you can incorporate on a daily basis as a woman to help yourself navigate through this phase, right? And then if someone has serious issues, right? So could be because someone could have serious issues, then, they can of course consult, an expert, whatever expert they need to consult. Or if they want HRT, we don't administer HRT, but they can get it through a network of experts. So it's all experts driven is what I'm trying to say. But we made in this way so it's affordable. Typically, experts are very expensive. If you go for consultation, it's going to be a couple of $100, at least in the United States, an hour. And by the time you figure out the testing and all that, it escalates quite a bit. Like I said, so many people. So the idea is to bring it super affordable so that at least the basic knowledge is women have the basic knowledge, and now they are equipped or empowered with all this knowledge. Ask the right questions to do the right thing as a next step, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, so that really is the idea. And you go in progression, 1, 2, 3, right? Does it make sense? I mean, that's what we are doing.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes. So, okay, wow. I would love to. The reason why I'm asking is because I've started a company myself. It's on holistic lifestyle. So it
Okay.
is mind, body, and soul connection. So the mind is where I go into. You mentioned you were hitting those points like a nail in the head. So I also am a hypnotherapist. At the same time, I also do like spiritual practices, incorporating all of this, to align ourselves. Because my mission is on self-worth. Now, if to combine that with health, and especially every woman will undergo this sometime, right, in their lives after mid 50s and whatnot. So I think it is super important for them to get to know this information. And why I'm asking too is because I want to see if there's possible collaboration in the future with you, with your team. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are right now. We are going to onboard. In fact, we are going to send emails and invite some of the experts from all over the world to participate in our marketplace, in our
Yeah.
holistic wellness platform. So
Yeah.
we will be sending you. There are a lot of collaboration techniques because, like I said, I am not an expert. I said we are just collaborating with the experts from all over the world to bring this information to women around the world. And we want to partner with someone like you, since
Mhm.
you are in Malaysia and you know Malaysian women better than me sitting here. That's just the way it is. So you can service them better if you collaborate with us. And that way
Yes.
you can take what we have and add what you are going to offer together,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whole idea is
Exactly.
to work together, and then you can offer a much broader, comprehensive offering to them that
Mm-hmm.
includes not only what you do, but also what we do, right? So and then we bring your thing to us. So that really is the idea behind it, is so that how do we bring this information to literally all the women in the world, right? I mean it. Say the word.
Yeah. And also, when women, they don't know what they're going through and then they have the symptoms, that can actually impede their self confidence and self esteem as to why is my hair thinning, right?
Yeah.
Why am I having all these hot flashes? And that impacts on how they present themselves, how they see themselves. So that is also something that I advocate myself very, very much personally. So yeah, that calls for a collaboration in the future, Amita. So okay, I'm aware, mindful of the time. I'm gonna ask a few more questions, then we're gonna wrap the interview. So, okay, you mentioned about mindfulness a couple of minutes ago. So,
Mhm.
so this is a self-worth question that I ask every one of my guests. So, for you, in your opinion, how can mindfulness and self-awareness practices contribute to self-discovery and a healthier self-concept?
So mindfulness has a lot of data, right? A lot of research behind it, scientific data. Specifically meditation, specifically present, you're being present, right? So I think if and there's a lot of data that talks about, how it impacts our nervous system and how it helps us calm down. And if when we are not stressed and we are actually calm and we spend some time helping ourselves with this self-awareness and self-worth, it is going to impact your self-esteem as well, because you feel more confident in your skin, with the way you look, because there's so much information, so much negative body image can also happen during these years, right? We
Yeah.
talked a little bit about that. And you mentioned that because you could see that your self-worth could go down. So if you start practicing as a woman, all these practices, relaxation practices, mindfulness and self-awareness, self-worth, I always say self-care is not selfish. And we women are always trying to take care of everything else except for ourselves. And we need to start taking care of ourselves. And when I use the word taking care of ourselves, it's not just applying makeup and looking pretty. It's literally from inside out taking care of ourselves, right?
That is
And
correct.
that is what is so, so important. It will help your self-esteem. It will help your self-worth, because you are going to start being better if you take care of yourself. That is just the way it is. So it's a very long answer.
No, I love it. I love it. It is what I needed to hear today, and also our listeners. I'm guessing because they know this platform talks about self worth and it ties. So it ties directly, and also it ties. People have this connotation that self worth ties to your looks, but it's actually coming from within. If you feel good about yourself naturally, your self confidence will increase, in your self-esteem, the way you have to like yourself, then that's when it all starts. All doors are opens up to you, to abundance. So thank you for that, Amita. So okay, where can people find you then?
Yeah. So the best way is to go to our website. Like I said, the platform is coming out within the month of March. It's perfect timing. www.NourishDoc.com.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to, we will be releasing, the platform. So people should try it and give us the feedback, what they find, and we are happy to take their feedback.
All right, thank you. Well, Amita, that was great. It was one of the shortest interview I've ever done, but that is a wrap on today's inspiring episode with Amita Sharma. Thank you for your wisdom and for your dedication to continue to support women all over the world, Amita. For our listeners, this has been Your Worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. Remember, if you've ever felt worthless, you are not alone. Your soul chose to be here to matter. And for that reason alone, you are worthy. Huge thank you again to you, Amita, and to all of you for listening. Until next time, I am Nick Nieras. Keep shining, keep growing, and always remember, you are worthy and you are enough. See you in the next episode. Thank you, Amita, for your time. And cut. Hi, Amita. Good evening to you. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much. I really appreciate the work that you're doing, and I'm excited to be with you.
Thank you so much for saying yes to be interviewed today. And I'd like to introduce myself to you formally and to all of our listeners listening. My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled Your Worthless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, today we're going to talk about something that is quite taboo to all women and men alike. But before that, I am going to introduce you to all of our listeners listening in today. So, as a co-founder of NorwichDoc, Amita Sharma has 20 years of working for e-commerce, fintech, and other fintech companies. Now, NorwichDoc is a global holistic wellness platform for middle-aged women. Inspired by her inspirational journey and working in the high-tech world, she felt unsupported. A dire need to bring a taboo topic for an open discussion. Now, she is on a mission to bring affordable holistic wellness to every woman in the world who is going through a midlife journey of perimenopause and beyond. Now, NorwichDoc has designed evidence-based and culture-sensitive holistic wellness programs for women wellness, self-care, and prevention. Now, welcome to the show, Amita.
Thank you. Thank you. There was a long introduction, but thank you so much.
Thank you. I think it's good to let our listeners know what are we diving into today. But okay, first off, I'm excited to dive into this. I'm in my mid-30s now. It is pretty early to be concerned, but then of course it's never too early, right? To get educated about this thing. So, Amita, can you please share with us first? What was it like growing up as an Amita Sharma? Love this episode? Now, transformation doesn't end here. Head on to @holistic.lifestyle_with_Nick. That is on my Instagram. Or head on to my website, www.holisticlifestyle.com for more info on my coaching framework, which is the Worthy, Authentic, and Abundant Framework, digital guides, and my upcoming events such as retreats and master classes and workshops. Now, I also do intuitive readings where we get to check on your soul path. And if you're also